To help secure my girlfriend's promotion, I drank with her clients until I was rushed to the emergency room with a stomach hemorrhage. When the doctor asked for my next of kin, my girlfriend called. I was about to speak, desperate for a comforting voice, when her tone cut through the painkillers. "Caleb, let's break up." She hung up without hesitation. In the split second before the line went dead, I heard her voice shift into a tender register, scolding another man. "Julian, you have a cold. You need to rest. Don't push yourself so hard." 5 days later, I was discharged. During that time, Elena Vance hadn't contacted me once. My texts sank like stones in the ocean. When I dialed a number I knew by heart, the call failed instantly, blocked. I couldn't wrap my head around it. 7 years together, and she wanted out with zero warning. Then, a mutual friend sent me a video. It showed Elena and a young guy walking out of CVS, her arm linked intimately through his. Combining that with what I'd heard on the phone, the conclusion was brutal. Elena had moved on. While I was vomiting blood for her career, she was buying cold medicine for another man and dumping me. I took a cab home. The apartment door was ajar. Fearing a break-in, I peered through the crack and saw Elena. We hadn't seen each other in 2 weeks. She was always grinding, complaining that her manager was suppressing her promotion despite her stellar numbers. I'd pulled strings with an old client, who happened to be her manager's boss, to help her. I drank him under the table to secure her future. I hadn't even had the chance to tell her the good news. Before I could push the door open, a young man's voice floated out. "Elena, you seriously lived in a dump like this? The location is trash, and the security is a joke. Delivery guys just walk right in. Your boyfriend didn't give a damn about you. If it were me, I'd never let the woman I love live here." I recognized him from the video. Julian Reed, the intern she managed. "What are you talking about?" Julian, clearly not expecting the pushback, backpedaled. "Sorry, I just hate seeing you suffer." Elena laughed, the sound light and flirtatious. "What boyfriend? He's my ex now. Watch your phrasing, rookie. Are you aware you're the current boyfriend? Besides, I'm moving out." Her voice was cool, but laced with an intimacy she no longer showed me. I stood in the hall, lighting a cigarette with shaking hands, watching them trash my home and my dignity. "What are you doing?" I didn't close the door. "Just one kiss. Scared your ex will see." "Who's scared of him? I just want to finish packing. Stop messing around." "Hey, I heard he's in the hospital. Aren't you going to tell him you're leaving? His health isn't my problem anymore. We're done. I'm just getting my stuff. Why should I ask for his permission?" She spoke of me like a stranger. I stepped forward, getting a clear view of them squeezed together on the living room sofa. I'd taken out a loan to buy this condo when my startup was just getting off the ground. Money was tight, but Elena had insisted on that Italian leather sofa, costing 3 times a normal couch. I remembered her wide, expectant eyes. I'd gritted my teeth and swiped the card. Now, she was sitting on it with another man dissecting my life. Julian draped an arm around her, kissed her cheek, and smirked. "This couch is pretty comfy. Be honest, Elena. Did you guys ever hook up on this thing?" Before she could answer, I crushed my cigarette against the wall and kicked the door wide open. Shock plastered their faces. I gave Elena a cold stare, then drove my fist into Julian's face. My fists rained down on him. Julian Reed had no fight in him. He was soft. Elena, recovering from her shock, screamed at me to stop. I ignored her. Suddenly, a sharp, cold pain exploded at the back of my skull. My vision swam. A high-pitched ringing filled my ears, and I felt the warm trickle of blood. I turned around, disbelieving. Elena stood there, clutching a heavy vase. Taking advantage of my daze, Julian scrambled away like a rat. Elena rushed to him, her face twisted in concern. "Julian, are you okay? Did he hurt you?" Watching her protect this pretty boy, I knew I had lost completely. I just didn't understand where I had lost. 3 months ago, when I first heard Julian's name, I never saw this coming. Elena first mentioned him after we'd had sex, resting her head on my chest, complaining about the clumsy new intern. Over time, the complaints turned into amused anecdotes. "That Julian is so dumb. He messed up a simple spreadsheet. My manager tried to write me up, and Julian took the fall for me. He's actually a decent guy. Turns out Julian is a trust fund kid. He drove a Porsche to work today. Ridiculous. Julian took me to Lou Bernardine for lunch. Impossible to get a reservation. At least the kid has a conscience." I had stayed silent, jealousy gnawing at me. No man likes hearing another man's name constantly on his girlfriend's lips. My patience snapped on my birthday. I had planned to propose. 7 years was long enough. I bought the ring, rented the private room, invited friends. Elena never showed. I called. She hung up. She texted. In a meeting, I stared at the decorations. "Elena, please. It's my birthday." No reply. I texted again. I have a surprise for you. 30 minutes later, I'll try. I waited 4 hours. Friends left awkwardly. At 10 p.m., the staff politely kicked me out. I stood on the curb, heart aching, wondering if she ever loved me. Then a Porsche pulled up. Elena stepped out, smiling at the driver, then froze when she saw me. Caleb, happy birthday. She handed me a gift box. I ignored it, watching the Porsche speed off. Who drove you? Julian. We were working late. He heard I was coming here and offered a ride. Sport cars are fast. She was so casual, so unapologetic. So, you remembered it was my birthday. I gestured to the dark restaurant. Too bad. You're too late. Elena sensed the edge of my voice. Her smile vanished. It's just a birthday, Caleb. We celebrate every year. Just pick another place that's open. Do you have any idea how tired I am? I rushed here. What more do you want? Can't you be a little understanding? I turned in silence and got into my 5-year-old Audi. Elena stood there for a moment, then let herself into the passenger seat. The ride was silent. When we parked at our building, she snapped. Stop being such a buzzkill. If Julian hadn't helped me with my workload, I'd still be at the office. You're a grown man, she continued. Why do you care so much about a birthday? Julian worked through his birthday 2 weeks ago without complaining. You've been in the real world for years. Do you have less maturity than an intern? Julian, can you stop talking about him? You realize you talk about him every single day? You know his birthday better than mine. Who is your boyfriend? Exactly. I slammed the steering wheel. Elena went cold. What is that supposed to mean? I rubbed my face, exhausted. Elena, I was going to propose to you tonight. I got out and walked upstairs. After a shower, I found 2 bowls of instant ramen on the table. Elena approached me, looking soft in the dim light. She took my hand. Elena couldn't cook. Ramen was her limit. Nothing is going on with Julian. If you don't like it, I won't mention him. I didn't know you planned so much. I was wrong, but don't be so petty. Eat something. She rarely apologized. She was the ice queen in college. People courted her. Seeing her try to make amends broke my resolve. I sat down, holding her hand. So what do you think? About what? The proposal. I slid the ring box across the table. Open it. She didn't touch it. Let's put marriage on hold. Why? I was stunned. We were 7 years in. I thought it was a formality. Elena poked at her noodles. It's too sudden. I'm not ready. She gave a list of excuses. I realized now how obvious her resistance was, but then she climbed onto my lap. Forget that. Open your gift. It was a luxury watch. We'd seen it at the mall. I'd liked it, but passed due to the price. I was touched. Thanks, babe. Since I dropped the marriage talk, she softened, leaning in for a kiss. The atmosphere shifted. I carried her to the bedroom. The noodles, she whispered. I'm not hungry for noodles, I murmured. After that night, she stopped mentioning Julian. But she worked later and later. I thought she was busy. Turns out, she was preparing to leave me. Back in the present, I watched her check Julian's non-existent wounds. I touched the back of my head. My hand came away bloody. Julian smirked at me, then winced when Elena touched him. Ouch, Elena, I think it's fractured. Elena immediately called 911. Seeing her panic for him, I realized she might never have truly loved me. I'd been hospitalized twice for her. She never visited. Now she was sending me there a 3rd time, by her own hand. Neighbors had called the cops. Elena finally looked at me, eyes widening at the blood. Caleb, I didn't mean to. You looked insane. I just wanted you to calm down. She tried to approach. I stepped back. Caleb, let's talk. I looked at Julian talking to the cops. Talk. You dumped me. What else is there? Do you want me to wish you both a happily ever after? Can't we settle this privately? She whispered. I don't want you to have a criminal record. A threat. She didn't care about my record. She cared about the scandal affecting Julian's internship. Are you worried about me? Or a pretty boy's career? I scoffed. 7 years, Elena. And you do this for a guy you've known for months? You have no heart. Her silence was my answer. Phoenix. No settlement. I'm pressing charges for assault. I hit him, sure, but you cracked my skull. The paramedics arrived. They rushed to me. Elena awkwardly tried to redirect them to Julian. I called the ambulance. My friend is hurt. The medic looked at Julian, then at my bleeding head. He has a bruise, miss. This guy has a potential concussion. Before I got in the ambulance, Julian walked up, touching his jaw. Caleb, Elena and I are official. If you're smart, you'll stay away. I won't press charges for today. I looked at his face. He looked familiar, but the pain in my head blurred the memory. Keep the trash, I told Julian. No one's fighting you for it. Elena went pale. Julian stepped in front of her. Just you wait. The ambulance doors closed. 7 years of loyalty, wasted. At the hospital, the diagnosis was a mild concussion. I was admitted for observation. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Elena. When my adoptive parents died, she was there for me. I thought that meant love. Maybe she just pitied me. Morning came. A young doctor in a white coat approached my bed. She reviewed my chart, glancing at me repeatedly. Are you Caleb Stone? I blinked, reading her badge. Dr. Maya Brooks, resident. I looked closely. It's you. Maya smiled, eyes bright. She was a student I had sponsored. I grew up in the foster system before being adopted, so when I started making money, I set up a scholarship fund. Maya was one of the recipients. We used to text occasionally, holidays, life updates. She was respectful and kind. Elena knew about her. Once, I took a distress call from Maya and didn't reply to Elena's text immediately. Elena demanded I cut ties. I did, thinking it proved my commitment. You need to stay a week for observation, Maya said professionally. Where is Ms. Vance? Usually, family stays for head injuries. We broke up. Maya looked shocked, but didn't pry. She was always empathetic. I felt a pang of guilt for cutting her off years ago. After she left, I fell asleep. I woke up the next day to a visitor. Marcus Hill, my client and the big boss at Elena's company. He brought two pieces of news. 1. Elena was promoted. 2. She resigned immediately after, along with Julian. Buddy, Marcus said, looking at my bandages, you worked hard for nothing. I couldn't even fake a smile. Turns out this Julian kid is loaded. He was just slumming it at the company. Don't worry, Caleb. You dodged a bullet. Marcus tried to cheer me up. He turned on the TV. A business tycoon, Harrison Sterling, was giving an interview. Hey, you look just like this guy. Marcus joked. You sure you aren't a secret heir? I wish, I muttered. After Marcus left, my phone buzzed. It was the college alumni group chat. The class president, Chris, announced a reunion in a month. He tagged me and Elena. Bring your partners. Before I could ignore it, Elena replied. Caleb and I broke up. I will attend the reunion. And I'm bringing a +1. The chat exploded. Trolls started mocking me. Failed the 7-year itch? Elena Vance is single? Finally. Hey Caleb, don't be sad. I know a rich 50-year-old divorcee if you need a sugar mama. So who dumped who? Obviously Elena dumped him. Hey Caleb, you coming? You gonna bring a date? Haha. Watching the chat scroll, anger spiked. My fingers flew across the screen. I'm coming. And I'm bringing a date. Who says I don't have one? The chat went nuclear. I instantly regretted it. I didn't have a date. I didn't even talk to women. I tried to delete the message, but the timer had expired. I tossed the phone aside. A few minutes later, I needed to use the restroom. I tried to sit up, but the room spun. Just then a knock. Elena walked in. She placed a bag of fruit on the table. You must be bored, visiting me so soon after quitting. She looked tired. I heard you were hurt. You're the one who bashed my head in. Elena winched. I came to return your keys. And to see if you were okay. She sat down. I saw the group chat. Are you seriously going to pretend you have a girlfriend just to spite me? None of your business. Caleb, stop this. We can't be lovers, but can we be friends? Why make it so ugly? Friends. I laughed bitterly. You cheated on me, humiliated me, and cracked my skull. I don't want to be your friend. Go back to your rich boy and his Porsche. It's not about the money, she shouted. Then what is it? Why him? She looked away. I'm leaving. Take care of yourself. She paused at the door. So, who are you bringing to the reunion? You'll see. You're pathetic, Caleb. Making up a girlfriend. He's not making it up, a melodic voice interrupted. I'm going with him. We both turned. Dr. Maya Brooks stood there, radiant even in her scrubs. She walked past Elena and checked my 4. How's the dizziness, Caleb? Elena stared at her, face hardening. So it's you. The charity case. Maya stiffened. Elena snitted. Wow, Caleb. Reconnecting with your little protege already? Or were you sleeping with her while we were together? No wonder you funded her. Elena, shut up, I snapped. Maya and I were never inappropriate. You know that. Elena scoffed and turned to leave. Wait, I said. Apologize to her. Elena spun arond. Apologize? For what? Calling her a charity case? She is one. Who is she to you anyway? She's my... I paused. She's my partner. So watch your mouth. Elena stared at me, eyes suddenly reddening with tears. It was the first time I'd seen her cry over me in years. Nobody makes me apologize, Elena whispered, her voice trembling with misplaced pride. She isn't worth it, and neither are you. She stormed out. Silence fell. Maya sighed. Sorry, Caleb. I overheard, and I just jumped in. No, thank you, Maya. That was perfect. I didn't know it was this bad, she said softly. She hit you. Yeah, I told her everything. She listened, her eyes kind. Talking to her felt like putting down a heavy weight. Later, I needed to use the bathroom again. I can help, she said. No way, I blushed. Caleb, I'm a doctor. Anatomy is just anatomy. She handled the situation with clinical grace, though I noticed the tips of her ears turn pink. As I recovered, I thought about the reunion. My bluff had become a promise. A few days before discharge, Julian Reed barged in my room with a lawyer. Here's a cease and desist, Julian sneered, tossing a paper at me. For the assault. Get out, I said calmly. Julian noticed the watch on the nightstand, the broken one from the fight. He laughed. Still keeping the gift I bought for Elena? You know I bought that, right? She gave it to you? That's hilarious. Recycling my charity. I picked up the watch. Open your eyes. This is the one I bought for myself. I threw it at him. It smashed into his face. He screamed like a banshee. You broke my nose. He charged at me. Suddenly, hospital security rushed in, led by the older guard Maya, chatted with every morning. They tackled Julian, ignoring me. You okay, Mr. Stone? The guard asked. Dr. Brooks sent us. Julian was dragged out, cursing. Maya rushed in minutes later, breathless. Are you okay? I'm fine. Thanks to you. She handed me her phone to scan her QR code. Add me again. Before I could, a nurse called her for an emergency. She ran off, leaving her phone unlocked on my bed. The screen was on her chat. I saw I was pinned to the top. I scrolled up. For 3 years, since I deleted her, she had been sending me messages. Happy New Year. I graduated today. I'm intern now. Saw a movie you'd like. Next to every message was a red exclamation mark. Message not delivered. The last one was for my birthday. Happy birthday, Caleb. I hope you're happy. I felt tears prick my eyes. While I was chasing a woman who didn't care, Maya had been speaking into the void, hoping I'd hear. When she returned hours later, exhausted, I asked her, Maya, will you really go to the reunion with me? As my fake date, she blushed. I don't have a boyfriend, so sure. The next day, I was discharged. I threw the broken watch into the trash. It missed and landed at the feet of a man walking in. He picked it up. It was Harrison Sterling, the tycoon from TV. Your aim is off, son, he smiled. I froze. Mr. Sterling. He motioned to his assistant, who handed me a file. A DNA test. Probability of paternity, 99%. Marcus, send me your photo, Harrison said, his voice thick with emotion. I had a son who was kidnapped as an infant. My wife died of grief. I never stopped looking. He explained how he got my DNA from the hospital samples. I didn't want to get your hopes up until I was sure. He placed a hand on my shoulder. I found you. The world tilted. I wasn't just Caleb Stone, failed startup founder. I was the heir to the Sterling empire. Just then, Maya ran in to say goodbye. Harrison watched her, then looked at me. Girlfriend? Not exactly, I said. She's a good one, Harrison noted. About this reunion, let me give you a welcome gift. He handed me a deed. The Sapphire Bay Resort. It's where your reunion is being held. I was late to the reunion. I had been in the penthouse office of the Sapphire Bay Resort, signing papers. I took the elevator down to the ballroom, wearing jeans and a t-shirt. The room fell silent. Caleb, Tyler, my old roommate, shouted. You afraid to dress up? Or couldn't afford a suit? Where's the date? Chris sneered. Elena was there, arm in arm with Julian. She looked stunning, but her eyes were cold. Did she get lost? Elena asked. Or did she never exist? Julian laughed, pointing at my wrist. I was wearing a Rolex, a real one, a gift from my father. Look at that fake. You really have no shame, Caleb, wearing a knockoff to impress us. The crowd laughed. It's real, I said simply. Sure, buddy. And I'm the president, Tyler mocked. Suddenly, the double doors swung open. A hush fell over the room. Maya walked in. She was wearing a silver gown that shimmered like water, her hair cascading down her back. She looked ethereal. Tyler's jaw dropped. Who is that? Is she a celebrity? Maya scanned the room, ignored the gaping men, and walked straight to me. Sorry I'm late, Caleb. She took my arm. The room exploded with whispers. That's his date? No way. Julian scoffed. Probably a hired escort. Caleb couldn't pull a girl like that. I'm Dr. Brooks, Maya said coolly, turning to Julian. And I'm not hired. I'm his girlfriend. Julian turned red. To save face, he announced, well, since Caleb is clearly struggling, I'll pick up the tab for tonight. Drinks are on me. Actually, I said, signaling Manager Davis. That won't be necessary. Manager Davis stepped onto the stage. Good evening. The bill has been taken care of. In fact, the entire resort stay is complimentary. Cheers erupted. Mr. Reed is so generous, someone shouted. No, Davis corrected. This comes from the owner of the Sapphire Bay Resort, Mr. Caleb Stone. The silence was deafening. Julian turned purple. Bullshit. This place belongs to Harrison Sterling. Mr. Stone is Mr. Sterling's son, Davis announced. Security moved in. Mr. Reed, you are trespassing. Please leave. As Julian was dragged out, screaming, I looked at Elena. She stood frozen, her face a mask of horror and realization. I walked out of the ballroom with Maya, needing air. We passed the restrooms. I heard voices. Elena's college friend, Jessica. Did you see Julian? He looks exactly like Liam West in profile. No wonder Elena dated him. Who's Liam West? Another girl asked. The college golden boy. Elena's obsession. She only dated Caleb because she thought Liam saved her from the frozen lake that winter. But Liam took credit for it. When Liam dumped her, she dated Caleb out of spite. I stopped dead. The frozen lake. 7 years ago, I had jumped into freezing water to pull Elena out. I nearly died of pneumonia. I never bragged about it. I thought she knew. She thought it was Liam. And Julian was just a Liam lookalike. She never loved me. I was a placeholder for a ghost. I felt sick. Maya squeezed my hand. Caleb, I'm okay, I choked out. Just clarity. I looked at Maya. Maya, be my girlfriend. For real. She blinked. I thought we were pretending. No, I mean it. She smiled, tears in her eyes. Okay. Just then, Elena ran into the hallway. Caleb, is it true? Was it you who saved me from the lake? Her eyes were wild. Does it matter? I asked coldly. Yes. I thought it was Liam. If I had known. If you had known, you wouldn't have treated me like garbage for 7 years. I stepped closer. You didn't love me, Elena. You loved a memory, and you replaced me with a cheap copy. No, Realisa. I miss you. Please, Caleb. I have a girlfriend, I said, lifting Maya's hand. And unlike you, she loved me when I was nobody. I turned my back on her. Elena collapsed, sobbing. 3 days later, Tyler texted me. Bro, Elena and Julian broke up. You were right. Let's grab a beer? I blocked him. I didn't care. A year later, on my birthday, I proposed to Maya. She said yes. The next morning, we went to City Hall. When we returned to my apartment building, Elena was standing there. She looked gaunt. She had been waiting for hours. Caleb, I heard you proposed. Yes. I regret everything, she sobbed. I know now that you were the one. Can we start over? No. I pulled out the marriage license. I'm a married man, Elena. Go away. She stared at the paper, her face crumbling. I walked past her without looking back. She stood there for hours, just like I had waited for her at the restaurant. I never saw her again. Rumor has it she moved abroad. That winter, the first snow fell. I stood on the balcony of our new home with Maya. Snowflakes caught in her hair. She looked up at me, smiling. What are you smiling at? I asked. Just thinking, she said, catching a snowflake. We made it to the first snow. Does this count as growing old together? I put my arm around her, pulling her close against the cold. Yeah, I said. It counts. Story complete.